All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Saiki K, Season 1, Episode 19.
All right.
I have no idea what we're in for.
No idea what we're in for.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think at this point we're just ready for whatever the show brings our way.
Indeed.
We're excited for more characters. We're excited for more ridiculousness. I think we've all, kind of hit that point where we realize that there are certain characters in Saiki K where if anything happens with them in any remote possible way, we just get really giddy and excited.
Oh yeah.
And
I personally am keeping my fingers crossed for romance shenanigans, because that is just a reservoir that will never go dry, and I feel like that can be just delved into so much.
Yeah. I think Teruhashi has definitely come way up in the rankings of things.
She's very competitive. Yeah.
She's very competitive. In fact, she is literally the meta. But I also very much like that I'm liking more the romance angles that she brings into things, which is hilarious because Chio is the joke character in that regard, in that, Chio? Who's Chio? What?
Right. Meanwhile, it's like, no, Meta-chan is secretly,
And then actually the one Giga Chad that actually is the one that deserves all the happiness in the world is actually Matsuzaki, the PE teacher, who deserves to find some happiness or maybe even love if he hasn't already.
I mean, I also would love to see Shunkaido in Chio. Because there was some stuff happening on the trip, and maybe, just maybe, they can make for a little adorable couple.
It's possible. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion.
Judgment Nights of
Oh my god. Jacob, this anime is a treasure.
Even good.
But even more than that, just the idea of having this medium of a comedy be one where they can poke fun at all the tropes of anime and get, really on the nose with some of the most commonly used archetypes and stuff like that. Having the Tsundere grandpa literally just be the focus of an entire mini arc, basically, is perfection, right?
Words cannot describe.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I love the Tsundere grandpa archetype.
Oh, me too, yeah.
I love it. It's some good shit, right? I have never seen anything quite like this.
For sure.
And so it was this wonderful way to give me what I wanted, right? Because who doesn't want a Tsundere grandpa? And yet at the same time, it ends up just being the shtick for the comedy in some very inventive ways that I never would have expected, even if I knew that it was going to be a Tsundere grandpa played for comedy.
Right.
They don't know about his powers. Okay. It's also used as a way to introduce that Saiki has an older brother, which is all right.
Yeah. Also,
okay.
What?
But then he hates the dad, which that's actually pretty predictable.
That's pretty reasonable.
But it's set in contrast with the fact that he absolutely loves his daughter and he absolutely loves Saiki. But he really can't say anything. The fact, God, when they were in the Ferris wheel and he's like, I need to say something. Yeah. And he musters up the courage and he says, Sometimes I worry that Saiki K is actually bad for my health.
Right.
Because one of these days I'm going to be laughing so hard that I can't breathe.
Yep.
And then I'm going to suffocate on comedy.
It's
'Twas beauty that killed the beast.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right. If that be how I go, then,
Then that's how I go.
Then that's how I go.
Oh my god. So the Tsundere grandpa is something that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
But even older than that are just tsunderes in general.
Sure.
And what was your first tsundere?
Rukia, actually, from Bleach.
Okay, yeah.
Well, okay. Technically Sakura, but I like to just I would say Rukia because I feel like she was an actual good example. But
yeah, and it's a thing that gets kind of overused a bit, and thus also it's something where you have the issue of where you can kind of attribute too much of like a character to being a tsundere because it's like the meaning has gotten washed down so much by how many bad versions of tsunderes there are out there.
I would even go as far as to say that some of the comedy, I feel like, from the way this was done here, was by poking fun at how ridiculous it is when tsundere is done as an archetype rather than as a way to showcase internal human conflict, right? So, you know, most of, like the fact that I mentioned Rukia, I would say most of the time people wouldn't even necessarily consider her to be like that great of an example of tsunderes, other than the fact that she occasionally punches the main character.
Yeah, that'd be more of like Taiga from Toradora.
Yeah, Taiga is like a very classic example, and I would say she is a very good example, right? But a lot of times when there is a tsundere in a show, I very much don't like them.
Yeah.
Like, because it's...
Because it has nothing to do with the actual internal conflict of their character.
Right.
It's just there to have a shtick of where they can hit people and then go baka and then.
Right. But you should be on my side because I don't. Right.
I don't know.
Or I'm emotionally upset.
Yeah. No, that's just abusive.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So. But on the other hand,
right.
having someone who is like, I need to figure out how I can communicate that I deeply care about this person, right? But because of whatever reason, there are all these obstacles in my way, right? I don't really get along with his dad. Oh, I was born, you know, not long after the war, and he's this young kid. How do I actually relate to him? Oh, I'm constantly screwing this up. That I get frustrated, and maybe then when I get frustrated, that ends up leaking out, and it seems like I have an issue with the person. That totally makes sense. That's a very heartfelt thing that can be explored there. That's why those kinds of things are why the trope exists and is loved, right? Because you can do some wonderful things with it, right?
Yeah.
But if you were actually looking at a tsundere and reading their mind and everything that's on the like extreme end, like we saw here, much like Saiki, you'd be like, "What? No,
this is
fuck?
really fucking annoying."
Yeah, like this is just a problem, right? And the thing is that could the grandpa have gotten what he wanted if he just genuinely asked?
Yeah,
probably.
Didn't have to have. Kusuo be a mind reader.
Like, let's take that whole bit from Kaguya at the very beginning where it's like 6 months passed and nothing happened. Except in this case, it's 16 years passed and nothing happened.
Nothing happened,
Nothing at all.
Yeah. It's something to say in that, you know, a trope can have, you know, great execution and thus carry, like, a great kind of pillar, shining example for many other characters to kind of take little inspirations from and stuff like that. And thus you get characters like Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion for being, well, you know, a classic tsundere in that regard. Like, that she's like one of the most like powerful examples of that in the medium of anime. But that doesn't mean necessarily that all characters are going to fit into the aspects that made Asuka a fantastic character.
Right.
Because Asuka had a whole bunch of extenuating circumstances as to why she was the way she was.
Yep.
But in this case here, having the comedy be entirely around the idea that this guy creates this entire problem for himself. There is no real struggle. It's actually just that he does not want to communicate this stuff because he does not want to.
And some of it is the kind of out there comedy of like, okay, he can't say what he really wants to say, so he doesn't. But then some of it is coming from the other things that he allows to get in the way. When the dad shows up instead of Saiki, when he was hoping that Saiki would bring him the thing, right?
Yeah.
And then he flips out and gets all pissy about it, right? Now, he doesn't like Saiki's dad.
Sure.
Understandable, right? I could definitely see him being very upset when he realizes, wait, my daughter that I cherish so much is going to marry this buffoon, right? I can imagine he might have been a little bit miffed.
A little bit peeved, yeah.
Yeah, a little, you know, his feathers were ruffled in a way he didn't like. But, you know, you getting all upset there, maybe that could have been something where you you could have had a really sweet interaction with them, but you let something else get in the way, and then all of a sudden, well, you don't even have the opportunity to fail and just say, right?
Yep.
So...
Yeah. But hey, we have a Tsundere grandpa, and now they know about Saiki's powers, which is a cool little bit of plot development, and dropped alongside with that was an insane setup for a character to come into the story. It is Saiki's older brother.
Like, are we actually going to get a serious continuity plot progression thing here? I think we're going
to get actual serious continuity plot progression, because this brother could actually be the antagonist of this story.
His brother could be the antagonist. We could actually, even if he isn't, we could just have serious character drama, right? Theoretically, he could have powers. Was it set up anything?
He's the one in the bathtub with all the money.
Wait.
He's abusing his powers for greed and gain.
Hold on.
Watch.
Okay, so the guy that's in the bathtub with the money has gray hair with sort of a dark underbit.
Yeah.
But when we see this guy, I wanted to say he looked like he was blonde.
I think it's not only that he was blonde, the setup kind of. Well, hold on. Where is the actual?
It was for a split second.
It's for a split second. Dang it, where was it? It must have been way later.
Oh, it was when they were... Well, okay, he was talking about telling them... Here we go.
Here it is. Yeah, you see, he has gray hair.
I'm pretty sure that's blonde.
Well, whatever. It's gray, technically, in terms of the actual color pigmentation. But yeah, it's meant to be probably blonde hair because of the hue of the flashback.
The flashback tone, yeah.
But there's literally, like... a character in the OP that looks like that, and that's that looks like him. Oh wait, actually no. In the beginning here, there was a character. There, that could be.
There we go. Yep, and he's got a thing on his head, which
means probably a psychic.
Right. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah,
cool.
Let me. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah, and it has the same, like, dead inside look.
Right. Potentially I can see into the minds of people and all that stuff. And
so maybe not the greedy money bathtub Scrooge McDuck character.
Although I'm very interested in seeing when that character gets introduced. But, okay.
All right.
That's interesting.
So maybe not an antagonist necessarily. Maybe just a doomer kid, you know?
Right. Yeah.
just like, life is meaningless. Why did you even do that? This is probably going to happen. It's going to be the worst possible setup. Yeah, it's a character that is constantly realizing how everything is going to go horrifically wrong.
And Shun Kaido is like, I love your vibe. How can I imitate you? And he's like, no. Get away from me.
Yeah. You are going to end up, depressed, alone at 40. And, it's like, wait, what?
Damn.
Like, he could be the dose of, like, cold, hard reality to everybody's existence.
Well, and yeah, like structurally with the comedy and the story and everything, since Saiki is so like his own entity, he's
like, not even the straight man in any of the
right.
jokes.
Like he's the observer, like there's nothing.
He's the god observer, basically.
Right. There's nothing really comparable to what he represents. So if he ends up having a brother that also has psychic powers, that could be a wonderful way to shake up the dynamic in ways that Saiki very much doesn't appreciate, which can then cause him to behave differently and all sorts of fun things.
For sure.
But, okay.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yep.
And then the little video game ad.
That was awesome.
That was hilariously shameless. Like it was visually fun, but the idea that they revealed at the end is a stealth ad.
Well, and also we did get some characterization in there too. Because since we got to see the options that Saiki would think through in those situations to see what he would choose, those are all, to an extent, valid options that he would think about.
Punching was quite often an option that was in there as like almost a lazy,
That's fair.
But Saiki never would punch anybody.
Yeah, that's too much work.
Well, no, he would kill them immediately.
Well, even if he held back, it's like...
Yeah, it's too much work to hold back, basically. He's like,
Right, just like he never really smiles unless there's coffee jelly involved, because that's
and even then he more just kind of closes his eyes and just kind of goes
yeah, exactly, right. Yeah.
But all right, let's introduce a brother next episode, please. I can't wait. So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.